Hey guys, Amanda here, and in this video, I am going to be recapping Bachelor in Paradise, Week 3, Episode 5. So the show starts off right where it left off, and Jordan has come and run to take down the piñata that Christian has set up for him and Nicole in their little get-together date type thing. So he goes, and it's going really fast, so I'm not sure exactly who through the first punch or the shove or whatever, but Jordan, then he picks up Christian, he just slams him down onto the ground, and it's crazy. And then he just kind of walks off, and Christian is just mad, he's upset, he's cursing at him, he's trying to get to him, and Jordan isn't really responding much. I think he kind of responds a little bit, but he's calm and collected, and I think my theory was correct about Jordan. He knew that he was going to get sent home, so he wanted his friend Clay to have Nicole. He didn't want Christian to be with Nicole, so he was like, you know what? To get rid of the chance of her picking somebody else instead of Clay, I am just going to take him out because I'm going to go home anyway. I really think that's what he did. The producer tells the guys, hey, separately, they're not together, obviously, hey, we gotta throw you out. There's no fighting on the show. I don't care whose fault it is. You gotta go home. They took the news well, that they were both leaving. And Chris Harrison looking around the corner, he's making sure that they're both gone. Everyone's really worried. They're afraid, they're like, oh my gosh, what if they shut down Paradise again like they did 2 years ago? What's gonna happen? So Chris Harrison walks in, he eases everyone's worries. He's like, hey, you know what? We just sent the 2 guys home. There's a zero tolerance policy for violence here, and we're just going to continue with the cocktail party. Clay comforts Nicole. He says he's there for her, and she's really happy that he didn't try to stop the fight because he might have gone home too, and that would have made her really sad, and she's happy he's here now. Blake says something about not knowing where John Paul Jones is going to get his rose from. Blake, you have not been paying attention. John Paul Jones is going to get a rose from Tayshia, okay? Okay. Onyeka is questioning who she's going to give her rose to, There aren't any guys that are really trying to make an effort with her. She's upset about it. Hannah is deciding whether she wants more vitamin B or vitamin D. I think she should take this vitamin B and chuck it and keep this vitamin D for herself. Hannah feels bad for Dylan that she's interested in Blake too, and he understands. He really wants her to be all in with him, but he gets it. After that, she goes and talks to Blake, and Blake gets his mariachi for her, and they're dancing again, and they're making out in front of everybody again, and Dylan's there watching, and people are telling him, no, don't watch it, but he was like, no, I need to see what's going on. Now, it is time for the rose ceremony. Blake is pretty confident that he's going to get a rose from Hannah. Cam is pretty sure he's going to get a rose from Onyeka until she decides to have a speech before the rose ceremony starts, and she says, hey, you know what? I haven't found any romantic connections here, and I don't think I will, and it's been hard for me, so I'm going to go home. And Cam's kind of upset. He's like, hey, if the roles were reversed, I would have given her my rose. Would have been a friendship rose, but just to give her a chance, she should have given me a rose to give me a chance. Demi gives her rose to Derek. Katie gives her rose to Chris, B. Nicole gives her rose to Clay. Kaylin gives her rose to Dean. Tayshia gives her rose to Romeo. Oh, I'm just kidding. John Paul Jones. Sydney gives her rose to Mike, and Hannah gives her rose to Dylan. And everybody is so happy except for Blake. Everybody's so smiley, especially Mike. Mike's got that big smile, so he's so happy about that. But there's still one more rose to be given out, and Christina. And much to everyone's surprise, she gives her rose to Blake. I knew Blake was staying because he was in the previews coming up, so Now we just know how he stays. Cam, Wills, and Kevin are going home. So Cam leaves, and he's just kind of annoyed that Blake got a rose. The bad guy's getting rewarded. And as he's going out, another ABC, always be crying. Bye, Cam. And Kevin leaves, and we just have more of Kevin, you know? He was just kind of there, but not there. I kind of forgot about him a lot of the time. Sometimes he would say something like, oh, yeah, Kevin's here. I forgot. And then Wills. I'm sad to see Wills go. I like Wills. I hope he finds somebody, whether it's through the Bachelor Nation, Bachelor franchise, or outside of it. He seems like a good guy. And then we find out the real reason that Christina gave her rose to Blake is she wants him to see Hannah and Dylan. She wants him to suffer and torture him. But you know what, girl? There are new girls coming in. It's the next morning, and Dylan is cosplaying as the Karate Kid with his little bandana on his forehead. Blake is so lonely. He doesn't have anybody. Well, at least Dean is there. Dean is Blake's best friend, it seems like. Demi and Derek are being all flirty and joking. Clay and Nicole are cuddly and kissing. Enter Caitlin. She is from Colton season. She looks kind of familiar, but I can't really remember anything really about her except for her face kind of a little bit. She obviously has a date card. All the girls are a little worried. You know, there's this new pretty girl here. What if the guy that I like is interested in her? Caitlin pulls Dean aside, and they're chatting, and he says he's been chilling while everybody else has been stressing out. So they're done chatting, and he tells Caitlin, yeah, I'm going on the date. Just kidding. Caitlin starts talking to other guys, and other guys are kind of like, yeah, I like this girl, talking to this girl, so she's kind of like, I don't know who to take on this date. And then she talks to Blake, and then she ends up taking Blake on this date. They start walking up to this building, and Blake is like, Caitlin's cute, but I'm still really hung up on Hannah. So then they find out that they're doing this couples yoga thing, so they have to do all these poses touching each other, whether it's their feet touching or their butts touching. And then their last one is like kind of intimate, and she's kind of straddling him, and their faces are together. Then Blake tells Caitlin the story about Stagecoach and Hannah and asking Tasha on the date, but then really being interested in Hannah, blah, 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 blah. We know the whole thing. They end up just getting to the pool, and they're kissing, and, you know, the usual. Blake says he's ready to forgive himself, and he had a great date. And they go back to paradise. Dylan gets a date card. He obviously asks Hannah, and it's hard for Blake to watch them go off on a date. He's just like, yeah, I don't really see them clicking. I don't think they'll last in the real world, but it might be part of his jealousy, you know. So Dylan and Hannah go on their date, and they're in the middle of some water, and I think it's just this super shallow pool, maybe just like an inch or half an inch of water. So they walk onto it, and they sit on their table. It's really beautiful. It's a really beautiful setting. They toast to being honest with each other. She apologizes to him about the Blake situation, and she's really grateful for him for sticking with her. He just wants to keep making her feel happy and appreciated. He tells her about his dad, who was diagnosed with cancer, and his mom was just really strong, and he saw a lot of qualities in his mom being there for his dad, and he just wants to be there for Hannah, how his mom was for his dad, kind of like that. He tells Hannah that he's starting to fall in love with her, and Hannah says she's all in with him. They have a beautiful kiss, and all of a sudden you see a few Aztec people, and they're blowing into these shells or horns or whatever they are, and a bunch of people, they kind of storm them, but not like attack them or anything, but they kind of just like go towards them, and then they get up from their table, and they're just enjoying themselves and kissing, and the Aztec people are doing their dance, and they're chanting, and they're just having a good time and enjoying their time together. Crispy says he has PTSD about fire because in Paradise season 2, I don't know, something happened to him with the fire. I can't remember. I don't remember this. I watched the show though, but he says it's been amazing coming back and meeting Katie, and they both admit that they really like each other. So Derek says it's been really easy with Demi, and he has an instant connection with her. Tayshia and John Paul Jones are talking, and she's like, "Where have you been? You've been missing." And he's like, "Yeah, you know, I like to go take my naps." And they're just talking and having a good time. Family is very important to the both of them. He wants to settle down, and he's looking forward to spending more time with Tayshia. She says he's extremely intelligent and good to look at. They're kissing and joking around and super cute, and he drags him into the pool, and John Paul Jones says he's starting to fall in love. Tayshia Paul Jones. Demi, she says she feels terrible. She has a connection with Derek, but she also has a connection with this woman back home. She doesn't want to lose either of them, but she wants to give her all to one of them, so she needs to decide who she wants, and it's really hard for her. And it's the next morning, we're still with Demi, and she's talking to Hannah about her situation. For Hannah, both of her options were there. She was able to make a decision with both of them there, but for Demi, one of them isn't there, and so it's really hard for her to make a decision. Then enter Hannah B. Hannah Brown, Hannah the Bachelorette. Everyone is really happy and surprised to see Hannah B. They're like, what is she doing here? There's a reason that she's here. And there is a reason that she's there. She's there to speak to Demi. Because the last time she spoke to Demi, Demi told her about the woman she'd been seeing, and she had deep feelings. So she wants to know how she's been doing, because she's been thinking about Demi a lot. Demi tells Hannah about Derek, and that he's really great, but so is Christian, the girl who she's been seeing, not the guy that just got sent home. And Demi is coming to terms with who she is. She needs to come clean with Derek, because her relationship with Christian was more important than she let on with Derek. So Demi pulls Derek aside to talk, and everybody's like, oh my goodness, the way she pulled him aside. Demi was so serious. She's usually joking around a lot, and they'd never seen her so serious before. They know something serious is happening right now. So Demi comes clean to Derek about how serious her relationship with Christian was. She apologizes for downplaying it. She says she has feelings for both, and she feels very torn. He wants Demi in his life, and that he'll fight for her. Everyone that doesn't know about Demi's situation is trying to figure out what is going on with her. Like, what's happening? Demi requests to see Chris Harrison, and that's the end of the episode. For Tuesday night's episode 6, there's a lot. I might have missed something because I was writing these notes down, and I kind of just went back in my head to be like, what did I see? What did I hear? This is what I got. For next week, Kaylin is worried that Dean is going to be interested in some new girl that comes. We see that Chris B goes on a date, and Katie is really worried that he might decide to stay with this other girl. Christina might actually be into Blake. I think it's just Christina trying to stay to get a rose. Demi and Derek, they might be done. I think it is, because of what we've seen in the previews for this season on Bachelor in Paradise. At the very end, we see Katie and Chris looking out to the ocean, and they see something in the water, and they think it might be a shark, but all of a sudden it turns out to be a whale. Everyone's so happy, and there's two. There's two of them. They're orca whales. Everybody's so happy to see them, and they're, oh, what a beautiful sight, so romantic. And Demi's like, oh, orca whales are my favorite. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry if this video's a mess. I'm kind of a mess making these videos. I need to work on it, but it's my first time doing recaps, and I'm trying to get them out as fast as possible, and I have work. It's really hard, so hopefully this one isn't a complete disaster. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful month, a wonderful year, and a wonderful life.